Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. A busy night at Spokane City Council where members reconsidered development fees and heard from people demanding that Spokane Police Chief Craig Meidl resign. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk reports tonight.
A group of community members calling for the resignation of Spokane Police Chief Craig Meidl, weeks after the Inlander reported on his relationship with a group of property owners. Advocates claim Meidl inappropriately released information on active cases and gave certain property owners special treatment when responding to calls for service.
Our chief of police is using city resources to advance the agenda of a narrow group of powerful business owners, lending them more power than the average Spokaneite.
The group now wants Meidl to resign and for Mayor Nadine Woodward to begin the search for a new police chief. The mayor says the chief has her full support, and in a statement, Meidl said the basis for this request asking him to resign is unfounded and that the disputed communications did not involve privileged information. Tonight, council members also reconsidered general facilities charges, or the fees developers pay for new water and sewer hookups. Those fees were raised dramatically 2 weeks ago for the first time in 20 years, adding tens of thousands of dollars to the cost of building some new homes.
Even 66% or even 100% increase could be tenable, but going from a $1,200 water hookup fee to almost an $11,000 water hookup fee, that's untenable. And the fact that the belief is that the buyer is not going to fill that is absolutely, somebody's living in la la land.
Council members voted to make changes and adopt Councilman Jonathan Bingle's proposal to raise fees 66%, or by a few $1,000s in most cases, for the next year. During that time, council members will work with developers and other stakeholders. The fees pay for critical infrastructure upgrades. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
In other news this evening, less than 3 hours ago, Metro Nashville police released new security video on Twitter showing the moments a suspect shot through the glass doors and entered a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. 6 people were killed in that shooting, 3 of them students.
No parent should have to receive that call.
The suspect is also dead, shot by police. Officials say the shooter's been identified as Audrey Hale, a former student at the school. The students were all just 9 years old, identified as Evelyn Dykehouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney. The adults were custodians Mike Hall, substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, and head of school Catherine Kuntz. Authorities say Hale used 3 guns, including an assault-style rifle.
Of the school.
We have a manifesto, we have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this day, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place.
Officials say Hale gained entry by shooting through a door and was killed by police on the 2nd floor. The entire incident happened in just 14 minutes. And now to our Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Spokane police arrested a man this weekend in connection to a hit and run in Spokane. He is now facing felony hit and run charges. Michael Cotter made his first court appearance today. Court documents show a man helped Cotter jumpstart his car in an empty lot near North Center in Illinois. After getting the jump, Cotter allegedly hit the man who helped him, pinned him in his car, and then drove off. A witness told police they saw the victim on the ground after the collision. Police arrested Cotter Saturday after getting a tip. Court documents also show that during his arrest, Cotter told police he was in an accident where his car lurched forward and hit the victim. He claimed he panicked and left the scene. The judge sent his bond at $15,000. Today, federal and local law enforcement announced a major drug bust in Pierce County. The ringleaders allegedly working with a Mexican drug cartel and an Aryan prison gang. The bust followed an investigation spanning several months, leading to 27 indictments and a massive seizure of drugs and guns. The acting DEA special agent said there was enough fentanyl seized in this drug ring to kill everyone in Seattle and Tacoma, plus an additional 500,000 people. The U.S. attorney said the group has trafficked drugs in Washington, Idaho, and to Alaska. A Manhattan grand jury investigating former President Donald Trump met this afternoon. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg impaneled a grand jury to investigate whether Trump may have falsified records in connection to a 2016 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The former president denied any wrongdoing and posted about, quote, potential death and destruction should he be charged. He also posted a photo of himself holding a baseball bat next to a photo of Bragg. If the grand jury decides to indict Trump, he would become the first U.S. president to face criminal charges. And we are just 3 days away from the Mariners opening day. We are counting down the seconds to the first pitch at 7:10 p.m. this Thursday against the Cleveland Guardians. It also turns out the Mariners home opener is one of the most affordable in all of Major League Baseball. A new study lists the Mariners as the 5th most affordable. The cheapest possible cost for one person, including parking, a beer, and a hot dog, is $53. The Minnesota Twins home opener against the Astros is the cheapest game, coming in at around $37. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000, and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, the Northwest Avalanche Center issued its final report on the avalanche that killed 3 climbers on Kolchak Peak near Leavenworth. The report states the lead climber in a group of 6 triggered a slab avalanche on February 19th. The avalanche carried 4 of the climbers down 1,000 feet. They suffered traumatic injuries, and 3 of them died. Mountain rescue teams reached the injured climber and 2 other survivors. One body has been recovered, but 2 others are believed to be buried by additional snowfall and subsequent avalanches. First responders rescued 3 people and a dog stuck on top of their vehicle in Corcoran, California yesterday after the Tulare County Sheriff's Office said they ignored road closure signs and got stuck in the floodwater. Drone footage from the Sheriff's Office shows the people on the roof of their partially submerged car. They were spotted by a Sheriff's Office plane and rescued by deputies with the Tulare County Fire Department's water rescue team. The Sheriff's Office said today. Officials say several evacuation orders were in place for Tulare County. Let's talk weather when it comes to cloudy skies this week. It's a question of will or won't they come? Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo in tonight with more on what we can expect in the coming days. Jeremy?
Mark, that's about as much as we can do with the forecast. Just kind of judge the cloud cover. Really, for the next few days, a lot of the same happening each and every one. Right now we dipped into the 30s, but barely. It's a mix of clouds and clear skies with a little more high atmospheric cloud cover lifting in from the south. Those are those wispy, very high up clouds right now, kind of sifting their way in. Those will continue to do so from the south, but it looks like tomorrow we'll get a little bit of sunshine. I think morning through early afternoon is our best shot. Notice the moisture down to the south. All of that moisture starts lifting its way in, and what winds up happening is it does make it up toward Ritzville, but then falls apart, and then really starts to butt up against the foothills of the Cascades. Definitely on the east side, and that's because of upsloping or a stronger easterly wind. That easterly wind gets us a bit breezy here in Spokane. It's going to be a lot warmer tomorrow afternoon. It is going to be a bit breezy, but temperatures in the mid-50s. And then Wednesday, mostly sunny, very warm. Temperatures likely one of the warmest days we've seen so far this season.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Happening right now, expect more closures on I-90 near Liberty Lake in the overnight hours this week. The closures come as WashDOT continues construction on the new Kramer Parkway undercrossing. Tonight's closures started at 7 o'clock. Lanes are scheduled to stay closed until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can also expect those same delays tomorrow night going into Wednesday morning. Well, the Gonzaga basketball season has officially come to an end. The Zag season may be over, but their players are still being recognized. Today, Drew Timme and Julian Strother were named to the March Madness West Region All-Tournament team. They are joined by UCLA's Jaime Jaquez and UConn's Jordan Hawkins and Adama Sanogo.